Hey, my name is Mark Pew. I'm also known as the Arts Professor. I'm Senior Vice President of Product Development and Marketing for Preferred Medical, a pharmacy benefit manager and ancillary services provider to workers' compensation. However, my most important role today is as an advisory board member for the 2020 Comp Laude Awards by Work Comp Central. I've been very fortunate to be a part of the board since 2017, and during that time, I've been able to collaborate with the best and the brightest of the work comp industry. Those professionals from across the country all believe what Comp Laude and its founder, the late David DiPaolo, believes. We want to see a positive change in the industry by changing the narrative. And so I'm very pleased to be able to interview one of the deserving award winners at the 2020 Comp Laude, Janice Van Allen, Senior Director of Risk Management at Walmart, who received the award for Risk Professional of the Year. I've had the opportunity to know Janice for several years from a business standpoint. She and I have had meals together in a variety of different locations. And, you know, when you have meals together, you get to know each other a lot. And I know it's killing her that she and her daughter can't go to their Broadway shows that they normally do in New York City in the holidays. Janice, welcome to the interview, and congratulations on this award. How are you dealing with the inability to see live Broadway shows in your home in Arkansas or New York City?
We're having to find other things to do. Luckily, there's some shows that are being broadcast on Disney or other channels, so we're finding other ways to entertain ourselves here.
Gotcha. So tell us a little bit about your role at Walmart. I know you're the Senior Director of Risk Management, and you've been that since 2010, but you had an interesting story of how you got to that role in 2010. I'd love for people to understand kind of what has happened over the past decade that brought you to workers' compensation.
Sure. So with Walmart, we've always kind of changed roles every few years to make sure that we're well balanced and are able to get experience from other areas of the company, because the more that we know about the company, the more beneficial we're going to be in whatever role that we're in. And I came actually to the risk management area in 2006 and had responsibility for the general liability group. And in 2010, my supervisor pulled myself and my peer in and basically said, "You two swap." And that's that. I've been in work comp ever since.
To be nominated as a finalist and then ultimately win against some really strong competition for Risk Professional of the Year, what did that mean when you first got that notice that you were a finalist for that particular role?
I was surprised and honored at the same time. It's funny because at every stage of the process, first I was surprised and then thought that, you know, that's as far as I'll go, because I know some of the folks that were also nominated, and like you said, you know, they're very strong individuals in the industry. So I was very surprised and honored every time that I would make it one more step into the process. I've, you know, never won anything like that before. I've never won anything before, so it was very exciting.
Now, I completely understand that. That's the same kind of feedback when I won the Comp Laude award. They were reading the resume. It's like, that sounds like me, but I never win anything. That there must be a doppelganger around there. So, and it's kind of that trickle. You know, you get the notice that, hey, you've moved on to the next level. You've moved on to the next level. I'm assuming that your excitement kind of increased over time, but it sounds like you may have had a seed of doubt. It's like, this is really cool, and I'm really honored to be, but I'm not going to win.
Well, yes, one of the other nominees is somebody that I've worked with at Walmart, and being nominated with him in the same category, I was very much doubtful, and also, you know, like I said, Mark Salm from Publix was another person that was nominated, and you know, he does a lot in the industry as well. So pretty stiff competition.
So when you won, what happened?
I was completely surprised. They had told us, you know, this entire situation is a little different. So they had shipped the awards, and they had told us earlier, you know, to go ahead and open them. And even though I'd opened it and had the award, I didn't realize that I had won, because I have this awesome medal, but it says honor roll. And I remember my supervisor a few years ago talking about, we came in second with the honor roll. And so when I saw that, I thought that I hadn't won. And my daughter was actually in the room with me when they announced it. And then there was my video, up playing. And so my daughter was screaming, "You won, you won." I was like, "No, I didn't. It's honor roll." So, yeah, it was very exciting. It was, like I said, a group of great nominees, and I didn't think at all that I would be the one that won. So,
given your relationship with your daughter, that must have been very, very fun to have her in the room with you and actually apparently share the news to you to confirm that she did win.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
So why do you think you won?
A lot of it has to do with the things that I've overcome in my life and to be in the kind of role that I'm in today, and I think a lot of it also, giving back to the community, which I know all the nominees do, as far as, sharing our knowledge. You and I have spoken together on several panels, and, I think that's really important for us to do within our community, within our industry, is to share our knowledge and try to help all of us be better. I know a lot of it's funny with the company that I work for, with Walmart. We think of a lot of our industry peers as competitors as far as the business goes, but in this industry, we're peers, and so we work together with other retailers, side by side, and we don't. At least our perspective, or my perspective, is that anything that we can do to make the work comp industry better, I'm happy to share any learnings that I have.
What is a program that you have developed at Walmart in the past decade that you feel has really advanced risk management, that has advanced the value of your associates, that has advanced being able to get back to work? Is there, and I know that having discussions with you accomplished a large number of things and really have kind of changed kind of the direction and the how work comp is done. But can you pinpoint maybe one thing that you're especially proud of during this process of the past decade?
Yeah, there's several things, but nothing that I've done. I mean, we have, Walmart's a huge company, and one person can't really accomplish much when you're looking at the size of our organization. But I feel like it changed the industry a lot as far as the things that we do in our program. But I know you're familiar with one of the programs that we've done, and that was on the opioid epidemic. We started very early working with you and your organization to help get people weaned. I mean, we identified it early on that there was a lot of not just money being spent on prescription drugs, but a lot of actual drugs being put out there into the communities, and we worked hard to lower that. And I think we did a great job. When everyone else was really realizing that there was an epidemic or an issue, I think our numbers already showed that our issue was pretty much non-existent because we had started so early.
Yeah, you were definitely an early acknowledger of the issue and very, very proactive in helping that. And since the people that you're dealing with are your colleagues, people that literally you could potentially have lunch with the day before, there's a special, I think as a risk manager for an employer like that, there's a special connection between you. They're not just claimants, they're not just claims, they're not just injured workers, they're colleagues and associates. How does that influence, as an employer, how does that influence maybe your approach to thinking about what's best and for them that's also good for the company? Yeah,
you're exactly right. They're not claimants, they're our associates. And I've worked out in the stores. I've worked in just about every position that there is in the store, and know hourly associates out in the field, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we're taking care of them if they have an injury, and letting somebody go on with prescription drugs that are going to negatively change their lives. We owe it to them to do everything we can, even though they may not recognize why we're doing it in the first place. If when someone's in that situation, they're not recognizing typically that they have a problem. And so for us to step in and fix that for them or help them through that, I think that is our responsibility.
This is obviously an award that recognizes everything that you have done. And like you said, you're one person in a large organization, but you are certainly a very influential leadership person. What are your plans now that you've achieved this award? I'm assuming that you're not going to retire to the farm, that you're going to continue helping and coming up with new things. What is your plans that you've got this award now to kind of live up ongoing to the award from positive influence and helping other people, mentoring, programs? Have you thought in terms of what this award is kind of going to allow you to continue to do and what that next step might be?
I don't have anything specific except, to continue to give back to the industry, continue, speaking at conferences and speaking on topics that are important to the industry, sharing my story and hearing others, because, of course, that's how we learn, is from each other. Look forward to a time that we can all be back together and not having to do interviews, via video, but actually be back together and learning from each other, because, even though there are a lot of webinars right now going on, it's also the hallway conversations that help us learn from each other. And right now we're missing out on a lot of that. So I'd say the bottom line is I want to be back out there and learning from others and sharing the things that we're working on at Walmart.
Well, and I think your personal experience and personal history can be an inspiration for people that are either in place where you're at, have come from a family background like yours, all those different things. I think it's a really cool opportunity. And I know we're going a little bit off script here, but be willing to share a little bit kind of where you've come from and what makes you Janice, because I think there's going to be people that watch this video that may not have ever seen themselves in someone that they've seen on a video, but they see you and they hear your story and they go, gosh, that's me, and I'm here and she's here. How can I get her? And it gives them hope that they can continue to advance in their career and advance in their influence.
Yeah, so demographically, I guess, I come from a very diverse family makeup. My grandfather actually immigrated here from the Philippine Islands. He worked in World War II for the U.S., and so that's how he got citizenship. My grandmother, her family history is from Spain, and she didn't grow up with a mother and father. She was kind of taken care of by an aunt, and her dad showed up one day back in, 1918, with a baby. And the story that we've been told is that had a baby with somebody from a reservation, and they didn't allow the girl to keep the baby. So that's how she ended up back at home with her dad and being raised by her aunt. And so, my mother coming from basically, an immigrant family, didn't have a lot of guidance, and ended up pregnant at 14. She had snuck out of the house and, went to a New Year's Eve party because of my birthday, because I was 2 weeks late and I'm a September birthday. So she had me a month after her 15th birthday. She had 3 kids at 18. She was, overwhelmed, living on her own, away from her family, didn't drive, hadn't finished high school, and didn't have the ability to take care of us. And quite frankly, and embarrassingly, I guess to have to share this, but we were actually taken away by CPS. Me and my brother and sister were taken away by CPS for neglect, and we were all malnourished. And that's kind of the biggest thing that I remember growing up is being hungry. We didn't have anything. I knew a lot of other people had had toys and clothes, but it was the part about being hungry is what I remember most. And so when I share my story, the thing that I love about Walmart is that, I finished high school. I was the first one in my family to finish high school, and I didn't go immediately to college. I was working to help support my own family, my brother and my sister and mom, and I didn't have that opportunity. I actually went to college later in life, graduated when I was 41. But when I got to work for Walmart, I was able to continue to promote into, positions with more responsibility and a higher pay, and they didn't care about any of the baggage that I had, right? Any of my background. It was everything was based on, what I was willing to put in at that time. And so, the more I gave to the company, the more the company gave back to me. And I mean, that's basically my story, that, I think any of us can be in a difficult situation and work yourself out of it. It's just a decision that you have to make.
I thank you so much for sharing your story, because I think there's a lot of people, that don't necessarily see someone that represents them at these awards type ceremonies. They think that, they've all had it together and, it's been a peachy life and they were just, given the silver spoon. And I think if you dive down below the shallow end and dive into the deep end, they realize that people like you with such an interesting and difficult and challenging background can become the winner of the Risk Professional of the Year award for Comp Laude. It's just like it's amazing. It's the American dream, right?
Right, and I think that's my history. I think is part of part of my issue with thinking, okay, there's no way that I'm going to win this, because I know where I've been. I know where I've been in my past and my background, and I just think everyone else is definitely better than I am. So, of course, somebody like Mark Solom or David Stills or, the other folks that were nominated would be the ones selected.
Well, hold up your award, if you will. And I know you're a humble person, so this is probably difficult for you to do, but I know this is not going to be difficult for you to do. Who would you like to thank for putting you in this position?
Where do I even start? We're responsible first for even having this, for having this entire process of recognizing folks in the industry. Walmart, definitely, I work for a great company that has given me so many opportunities. And then, the great team that I have, I get to work with every day that are constantly coming up with new ways to improve our program and take care of our injured associates. Definitely my family, because I travel a lot and it's difficult for them sometimes when I'm not around, but I appreciate them, allowing me to do that. And then the person that nominated me, and I was very humbled. I really appreciate the award and was so excited to win it. Reading the nomination really meant so much to me that somebody, took the time to really, know my story and to share it with somebody else. Yeah, probably a million more people.
Well, I am so proud of you, Janice, for winning this award. I think it's well deserved. I think the committees that worked on this at Comp Laude made an excellent choice in giving you this platform. And I know you're going to do great things with this platform, even more so than you have done before. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. And I want to give you a virtual high five to celebrate. And at some point, hopefully, we will have an opportunity to get together and have a less than virtual high five. But so much love to you and your family and everything that's going on. And really appreciate you sharing your story. And congratulations for being the Risk Professional of the Year for Comp Laude in 2020.
Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate it.